Hi everyone, so the first week of Gauntlet has ended. I decided to give it a fair try and see what comes out of it. So I have been playing a little bit in Diablo 4 again after blasting off last Epoch, and I gotta say Gauntlet actually turned out to be somewhat more exciting than I thought, but ultimately I don't think this is really like a feature that I'm all too interested in the long term. But I did get the rank 1 here, at least on hardcore on the rogues. So I did post this on Twitter when the week started. This was like on day 1 when I went in for the first time. And it's kind of interesting actually how the scores have developed here. So this was like, I think like 8 hours in or something. This screenshot here where I had 622k points, which I believe at that time was the highest out of softcore and hardcore on the rogues. And then there was also this barb screenshot here where I had 707k score. And that has now improved to quite a lot more. I got like around 1 million on the Rogue, and also on the Barb I got close to 1 million. I got 960k. I did respec my Barb, and I ultimately just didn't really enjoy doing the Gauntlet on the Barb that much, so I did it for like a few hours or something, and yeah, I probably won't continue with the Barb, to be real. So if I'm gonna continue pushing and competing, it's gonna be mostly on the Rogue. It's just a lot more fun on the Rogue. The build is much more interesting. The barb stuff, it just feels kind of clunky to me, so I'm probably gonna leave that. Which is a bit sad because I, specifically prepared for the Gauntlet with my barb as well. I farmed the Grandfather, I farmed the Malfa stones and all that stuff. But okay, just focusing on one class is probably fine. If you're looking at the overall clears here, this is just the highest in hardcore. I would be something like in top 10 maybe on softcore, so I would be here number 8, I guess. There are some pretty high clears here, up to 1.1 million, and then also Mippy here, who we recruited recently to Maxwell actually. He got a 1,085,000 score. So these guys used a bit of a different route in the end. And well, it turns out that the Gauntlet is probably like 80% or so of your success is all about the route. So you need to make sure that you go the right path and that this matches your overall clear speed, and basically just trying to get the juiciest parts as often as possible, including with the glory shrine. So as you saw, like my start of week rank was rank 1, but I had like almost just 2/3 of the points or something like that. So squeezing out like that extra 300, 400k points or so was actually, quite a journey. Because after playing the Gauntlet for hours and optimizing the route, then you're going to learn something else. And then we also figured out stuff about, how the respawns work. Some enemies respawn, some don't. Then we figured out, how valuable Shrine Buff duration is and the Pillar of Glory. And well, in the end, it was kind of interesting to see like how it actually develops, how people come up with new routes. And yeah, this is what we got in the end. So once I had the final route, which was also one that I want to give Mippy a shout out to, because it was actually pretty similar to his, which was kind of close to my route that I had previously, but I only managed to reach like 900 something K points. And he had like a bit more of an optimized version there. Now a new Gauntlet has started already, so I'm planning to compete on that one again, as I mentioned, but mostly on the Rogue. But I'm probably not gonna go as try hard as I did. So I think I spent something like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 hours or so on the Gauntlet here on my Rogue in the first week, and that was certainly more than I'm probably ever gonna do in the future. However, there is some Gauntlet event coming up very soon apparently, so at least Blizzard teased that, but I don't think they've given us any info. So apparently it's gonna be some prizes to win or something, so maybe I'm gonna go try hard again for like another week or so when that comes, and let's see what will be the reward there. That sounds kind of funny. But yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I guess the Gauntlet is just there now, and for most people it won't really be all too interesting, most likely, because it's like a fairly high-end system. It actually does take a long time to kind of like sit down and, kind of like draw out a route here to follow, and you have to like remember the entire route as you go through the map. And well, that's actually a lot of stuff to learn and to remember for like a single run. So if you have this here, this was the first week map, for example, and then this was like some route that I drew here, which was not in the final one. But basically you have to like do several turns through the entire map and then revive and then do that again and again, and then you have to go exactly the right turns every time, and then click the Pillar of Glory in the right moment, and then leave a shrine up, and you have to remember all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to remember really doing a single run like this, which you know, does make this content extremely different from anything else in the game, but I guess ultimately not really something that most people enjoy too much. And it is actually fairly stressful to try to get those top ranks, I gotta say, because, you know, you have to memorize the entire route, you know, step by step, turn by turn, and it's actually kind of crazy. So this is, yeah, basically like the challenge rifts on crack from Diablo 3, where, well, challenge rifts are usually very straightforward. In general, greater rifts in Diablo 3 were extremely streamlined with like no dead ends and all that stuff. And, well, there's not really dead ends here, but you basically, you know, have to remember where to go at all times. And that's probably too much for most people. So I guess most people will probably just go in and do like a casual run, get maybe the Seal of the Worthy or something. You do get a few item rewards, but nothing really special. I got like, I don't know, a bunch of caches that have 925 loot, but nothing else. So it's what was not really that interesting as a reward compared to, for example, Diablo 3 challenge words with the bounty mats that were kind of nice to get. But yeah, overall, I gotta say, I'm kind of pleased with the result. I'm not really too pleased that this is the competitive mode that we got so far in Diablo 4. I think maybe Gauntlet would have been like not a bad introduction, like maybe in a year from now, you know, post-expansion and whatever. And maybe we get, you know, other competitive modes before that, you know, something similar to Diablo 3, Greater Rift pushing, for example. Oops. Or the, you know, like any kind of like conquests, like season start races, like this stuff is usually really exciting in ARPGs. And I was kind of surprised to see that the Gauntlet was the choice here. So if there were more systems in the game already for competitive play, and maybe hardcore was in a better spot with, you know, being like, you know, a bit, you know, harder and more exciting, then I think that, you know, Gauntlet would have been a much better received addition, because it would be just like one of the things to do. But right now it's like the thing to do because, well, AOZ is out, and, you know, in general the game has not progressed all too much in terms of content since the launch. So if that was like feature number 9 instead of number 2, then yeah, I guess that would have been better. But here we are. In any case, I'm mostly gonna be blasting Last Epoch until the Season 4 PTR hits, so I already made my video talking about my future plans, etc. If you haven't seen that, I recommend you go watch that if you wanna just learn more about what I'm planning in the future, like short term and long term. But yeah, for now it's like PTR waiting room. I gotta say, I'm not really planning too much more in the current Diablo 4 season. Maybe I'm gonna level one more character or something, play a bit. But mostly just gonna focus a bit on the Gauntlet and do other stuff until the PTR hits. I expect you're gonna hear about it soon. There was already like a blue comment somewhere from Adam Fletcher that mentioned that we're gonna hear about it. So I expect you're gonna get updates next week, and maybe even the PTR next week, because ultimately the last date that I think it can realistically launch is the 26th or maybe the 28th of March. So I guess you're gonna get at least news next week. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted on that, and let's see what comes out of that. I'm quite hopeful and excited for Season 4. That's it for my Gauntlet review here. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and let me know how it went for you. What are your thoughts about it, and what you're also thinking about, you know, the future of the game. I would be quite interested to hear that. So hope you liked this, and see you guys next time.